well know, a lot of the country right now is either way too wet or way too dry. We're going to talk about some of the dry parts. Homeowners faced with drought need to conserve water while trying to keep their lawns and gardens looking pretty good. Our friend Danny Lipford, host of Today's Homeowner, is here to show us how to get it done without wasting water and energy.
Right.
Okay, you know, a lot of people in a lot of parts of the country where it's really dry all the time, they just start xeriscaping, just taking it down to succulents, make it easy. But if you've got a well or if you've got an ample water supply, you say irrigation is the way to go.
If you do it properly, you can waste an awful lot of water if you're watering the concrete or the driveway, or simply watering too much and it's running off into the street. This is kind of the anatomy of a professionally installed sprinkler system with your timer and controller here, and then your water comes into a manifold, and then your timer will control the different zones that it goes to. You may have a impact head like this that will spread water around. You may have one like this. It's a pop-up that's adjustable for a smaller area. Then this one will go up to 45 feet spreading around. So, but this is a way that you can save money. If you don't want to water your grass or your lawn when it's already raining, so this is a wireless rain sensor that hooks right to your gutter, and if water hits it, then it'll send a signal back to the timer to turn it off so that you're not watering. Because you hate to see rain.
And so often you're going through a suburban area and the sprinklers are running and it's pouring. It's a deluge.
It's a big waste. So that's a professionally installed system. Costs you $2,000 to $3,000 for an average yard. So it can get expensive.
Can you do it yourself?
Well, you can, and there's several different ways that you can. Here's one I found recently. It's called a LawnBelt, and basically it consists of this type of pipe, which is a little unique, and it'll expand and contract in the ground so that you don't have any freeze damage. Then you have a series of fittings that you're able to slip in, and then you have different fittings to go around it, and then you can hook this to a water hose or a timer. But the real beauty of it is how easy it is to install. You see the grass here, and all you have to do is take a shovel like this and create kind of a ditch like that, and then it basically just wedges right down into the ground, and then just a little bit of work here and there on the side, and you basically have a built-in system just like that. It's called LawnBelt.
Holy cow.
And then you can hook to a timer like this with a hose, so that you basically have the same advantage as a professionally installed system, and this with a starter kit only costs you about $140.
I'll tell you what, that actually looked pretty simple.
That's pretty simple.
I'm very impressed, by the way. You're hired. And now that the minimum wage is going up, maybe we can afford it.
But that's, you know, overall for grass, this is the way you have to have it. Water sprinkling out, broadcasting over a large area. But you can save a lot of money by going to a drip irrigation system.
Well, you know, because so many people do serious gardening now, and, you know, even in apartments, people run little drip irrigation systems on their balconies or up on the roof, what have you.
You see that quite a bit. And this is the old soaker hose that a lot of people are familiar with, that you can meander in your flower bed so that it puts water out. But here's another system. This is just some piping with some little nozzles on it that you run the small little hoses like this, and you see it just has a little bit of dripping here and there. Or you can kind of dress it up a little bit by adding these. These are from Orbit Irrigation. You have this type.
That's pretty cute.
Little bugs, and even a frog over in a pot like this, spreading water right out in there.
Sprinkling frog. All right, we have a couple of tips for people who are going to be, you know, trying to water their lawn and make sure they keep their lawn green, not waste too much water. And of the tips, one of the things is you do it early in the morning, right?
And so that the evaporation rate's at the lowest rate you can get.
Make sure that all the sprinkler heads are in everything are in actual operating order. And you say install a rain sensor.
Right. The rain sensor, like we mentioned earlier, will keep you from sprinkling your yard when the rain is sprinkling the yard.
If we put mulch down, what does that do?
The mulch really will help retain that moisture around the plants so that you have to use less water to keep those plants looking healthy.
There you go.
All right, Harry.
All right, I got about 600 more square yards to do here a little bit later on.
Well, I have the tools in the truck. We'll head out that way.
Good, no problem. All right, thanks, Danny.